One more load. I had 400 grams of wholemeal rye and 100 grams of strong white left. They're in that bowl, waiting for that jug of yeast water. This is 500 grams of strong white. There is no wholemeal in this, there is no honey, there's 25 grams of butter in each batch. This way I get to do a test of rye flour with a little strong white against just strong white. I have also acquired soft apricots and previously mentioned olives. This probably should be thinner than that. There's one thick pizza base there. But in the absence of a rolling pin, thinner than that ain't happening. My wrists make a... it's not going to do it now. It's not going to do it now. Left wrist makes weird popping noises if I try to roll that out left-handed, or two-handed. But I thought I could demonstrate with this one what I meant about mixing olives into 2/3 of the dough. So, olives, you could cut them up more than this. Don't really need to. Could throw them on the floor and bounce them off your own foot. I think I just did that. Didn't really need to do that either. That's just down the middle. It'd be easier if I was looking at what I was doing rather than looking at the camera screen. The middle 1/3 of the dough. I'm going to fold this side of it. Yeah, in attempting to roll it out, I added a little extra water and it's actually sticking to the board now. Yeah, this is going perfectly. See that? That's what happens if it gets too wet. It starts sticking to stuff. I'm going to fold the left side of the board, It's going very well already. I'm going to fold the left side of the board over the dough. I'm also going to fold the right hand 1/3 of the dough over the olives, and you can hear that the olives are wet. That's likely to make the dough extra sticky where they are. Anyway, that gets smoothed down, and if it was a perfect rectangle it would stick very nicely. The loose ones can go into the middle, and we can put the next pinch of olives into the middle of this piece of dough and fold this bit up and over them and stick it down. That bit has picked up all the flour out of the track around the edge of the cutting board. Right, I don't want an olive in there. Do not want olives in there, that's the whole point of this exercise. Right, so I've squished olives into this bit and this bit, but none into this side. And I could do with lifting weights just to build up my shoulders so that my shoulders will weigh more so they can put more weight on the dough when I'm trying to squish it out like this. More olives can go there. It probably would be better to cut these up slightly smaller than this, but it works. Now this bit of dough can go over them. We still get no olives in this part. The reason for that shall become obvious when and if I manage to complete this process one-handed. I really did stick this down to the board. Overwetted it. There's still water left in the jug, you know. That's the jug of yeast, and there's still some left in there. But in attempting to roll this out, I tried to improvise a rolling pin, and I'd added extra water and made it sticky, and now it's stuck to the board. Which is, of course, why you would normally flour or oil your board. I didn't bother. We are getting two kinds of dough. We have dough here with olives in, and dough here without. I'm going to need a lot of the dough without. This is why I wanted to roll it out thinner. The idea is, eventually I get a thin sheet of dough without and a big block of dough with, and I can roll this dough that does have olives in it up from here. Maybe if I glued the board down to the worktop this would be easier. up from here like this to create this mess of dough with olives, and then wrap that part around it. I'll just roll that right into there and wrap the edges of this around it so that the bit with the olives sticking out through it like this is on the inside and none of the olives is exposed and none of them gets burned. And then that forms a loaf. If you want to do this as buns, you would need to divide it into 16 or however many blobs first, and then do this with each blob individually. Which might be easier. It would be a lot less area to pick up and roll, and a lot less area to knead. But it would also be a whole lot of faffing. What I'm going to do is finish turning this into a single loaf, and then turn that into a loaf the same way with apricots in it. And of course then we're putting apricot versus olive as well as wholemeal versus strong white side by side. But I do get 2 loaves of bread. See you in a bit.